What's up, everybody? It's Alex from Heavy New York. We are back at the Gramercy Theater, and we return with Chris and Ben of Shadow of Intent. Thank you all for being here.
Thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
It's so awesome to have you here. The newest record is Melancholy. Was this intended to be just a direct follow-up to Reclaimer, or do you think that this record is like a progression and a brand new start?
I would say that this record was a completely different approach for us than in the past, both in terms of creativity and content-wise, and how it was put together. So I think of it as its own thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely elements of Reclaimer involved, but it's definitely its own thing. A lot of new experimentation, and I think that's kind of like always the goal of this band is to continue to experiment and try new things.
Yeah. One question I had specifically for you, Ben, is being a vocalist, do you need to hear music to come up with lyrics, or does a concept ever determine the outcome of the music? Because in a song like The Return, for example, like you're moving so fast, you have to obviously fit like the tempo of everything. So
I usually have ideas in my head for songs before I hear music, but once I hear the music, it allows me to write to it like a lot easier. The ideas start flowing once I hear the song,
Okay. And a question I have for you specifically, Chris, is because in between Reclaimer and Melancholy, you with Currents, you put out I Let the Devil In. Do you maybe that open up some new ideas for how you wanted Melancholy to sound like?
No, I try to keep them pretty separate, but at the same time, Currents, I keep like a similar goal, is I just want to add more diversity to the music at all times. So I'm sure in some way I had a similar goal of just constantly making the music sound more different from each other.
Interesting. When it comes to playing your material live, do you channel a similar energy to your live presence as you do like when you're in the studio, or is songwriting a completely different method of just executing songs?
What do you mean by that?
Like, is it a completely separate mind frame playing your material live versus like practicing it in a studio or something?
I guess in both instances, it's more about, I try to be accurate and precise with my playing. But yeah, I definitely try to add a little bit more energy live than in studio. In studio, I'm like just all about accuracy and not worried about anything else really.
Fair enough. Now, I brought it up last time on the tour that you did with Black Dahlia Murder and Whitechapel, but, you guys have played with, like, a variety of different style of bands. Like, with Black Dahlia Murder and Flesh God Apocalypse, you were playing with, like, more death metal audience, but now you're on this tour with Despised Icon, Suffocation, but you have Kublai Khan. Have you noticed a different reaction in this crowd as opposed to the last one?
It really depends on the city, I would say.
Oh, more
it's
than
hard.
the
It's
lineup?
hard. It's hard to kind of generalize it.
Oh, really? How so?
I mean, we have shows where some nights, everyone's having a good time, everyone's slamming, and some nights not a whole lot of people know about us. So they're not as involved, I guess, but we just, shoot to aim for everyone to have a good time, and everyone appears to have a good time.
There you
But
go.
the crowd reaction is definitely different in some areas than others.
Mm-hmm. Being that your music is so technically impressive, is there like also a music theory element that you follow? Like in your soloing, for example, are you like working off of a certain scale or a certain mode, or is your guitar work kind of improvised?
Yeah, I'm definitely always thinking about like what key I'm in. Definitely scales and modes involved at all times. I rarely branch out of stuff, but every once in a while I'll throw in some different notes outside of the key, but usually I follow a specific key in every song.
Interesting. Here comes the difficult question. I want you both to elaborate because I always love getting the answers. How do you know when a song is done?
I know the answer. Is when there's no part that we hate. There's usually the first few drafts of a song, either me or Ben absolutely hate a part, but we just couldn't have thought of anything better, and sometimes it takes months or a year to really fix that part up. And then once we're both like, yeah, we don't hate that part anymore, then we know it's done.
How about for you?
Essentially the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, same answer, I would
When you're
say.
tired of hating it? All right. Fair enough. And the final question I wanted to ask you is you got this awesome tour with Despised Icon, Suffocation, Kublai Khan, Ingested. Is there just anything else that you would like to promote for the Melancholy record cycle?
Be on the lookout for some more shows next year. We won't be doing a lot, but there will be a few more shows next year.
Care to elaborate? Anything?
I think he pretty much covered that one.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much. Great to see you guys again. And I figure it would be easier doing it in the venue rather than the parking lot last year. But nope, still just as much background noise. You guys can never get a break.
At least we're not in the rain.
Yeah.
There you go. Well, thanks so much. Everybody, we are here with Shadow of Intent. Melancholy. It is out now. Pick it up while supplies last forever. This is Alex from Heavy New York. We'll see you next time.